Welcome to the West Point Lake Update. I'm your host, Park Ranger Rebecca Fink with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. We have a great show lined up for you today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. With me today is Park Ranger Ben Williams.
Hey, Rebecca.
Thank you for being on the show today.
No problem.
And I brought you onto the show to talk a little bit more about our hunting program. As we approach August and September, we know that the states start to allow hunting in different parts of the area for different game, and we have 10,000 acres of hunting land on West Point Lake.
That's right, yeah. And for a $25 permit, you get access to 10,000 acres. That's pretty cheap.
10,000 acres for $25. Now, you also need to have your state license as well.
Yes, of course. You have to have your, depending on what state you're hunting in, you have to have a valid hunting license for that state and also your Corps of Engineer permit.
And since the state line of Georgia and Alabama run through West Point Lake, do we know what side? Do you need to have a separate state license depending on where you are on the lake?
Yeah, that's correct. If you're an Alabama resident and you're hunting in Georgia, you have to have an out-of-state Georgia hunting license along with your Corps permit. So we have one area, the old state line campground, we call state line hunting area now, where the state line actually does run through the center of that park. So we have a map at the entrance, and you just have to be aware of where you physically are hunting at.
So we have a 2017-2018 hunting map that is going to become available. We published that on our webpage, and it's color-coded, and these areas that are permitted for hunting are not in recreation areas that the public would normally access.
That's correct, yes. We do have some that are adjacent to recreation areas, but like for instance here at Yellow Jacket Beach, we do not allow hunting, but just up the road near the water intakes, we do have a hunting area there. So they just have to pay attention. They receive the map when they get their hunting permit, and they just need to pay attention to where they are.
Okay, and how can they access the land? Can they come in both by land and water if they want to?
Yes, they can. If they would like to come in by boat, we allow that. The thing is, if there's a hunting area that is close to private property and they want to access that over the private property, they have to have permission from the property owner.
Okay.
The hunting permit that we issue does not give any access to private property. It's all public property and public water.
And that map will kind of show you roadways of proper entrances if there's a major roadway that comes into the park nearby.
Right, yes. We do have major roadways on there, but secondary smaller roads, maybe unimproved gravel roads, something like that, are probably not on there.
Okay.
But Google Earth helps a lot with that too.
Now on the hunting map, the color coding is specific to what kind of weapon you can use.
That's correct,
in the area.
Yes. We have an orange-red type area that's for archery only, and then we have green where we allow shotguns, rimfire rifles, as well as archery.
Okay. And the type of game that can be found in these areas, we do a lot with land management. We have hunting plots, both for dove and deer.
That's right, yes we do. In some of our larger areas we do plant supplemental feeding areas, winter food plots, spring food plots. This year we planted iron clay peas in several areas. I went out and did some scouting last week, and the deer are really browsing heavy on those peas. We're doing camera surveys right now too to kind of see what type of quality of deer we have in there. We try our best to manage with what little budget we have.
And I've seen some of that video feed that you guys will capture, and we do upload that periodically to our social media page on Facebook to kind of show people, hey, look what we're finding in this hunting area, or vice versa.
That's correct, yeah. We try, like I said, we try our best with a limited budget to see what we can get. The dove fields this year, we have one in Maple Creek and one in Oakland Road. We planted those this year with dwarf sorghum or milo. So hopefully we'll be able to have those ready for opening day in September.
So some of these areas also, we encourage hunters to document the harvest that they have in an area. Not all of our hunting land has accessible logging boxes,
Right.
but you list a few areas that you would prefer to come in on land, you'd have them drive in
Right.
and sign in and maybe select what zone or section of the
Right.
park they want to be in.
Our largest hunting area that we have is Maple Creek. It's about 1,200 areas down toward the south end of the dam.
Okay.
1,200 acres. We actually have a sign-in box there with, I believe it's 13 different sign-in areas. Now, when you sign into a box, it's mainly for safety concerns. In case something happens, you get hurt, you get sick, you can't get out, family members try to get in touch with us, then we can go start our search somewhere. It's not to reserve a spot in the hunting area or anything like that. It's public land, so anybody can go anywhere. But we just ask people to sign in just so we can keep track of things for safety reasons. Also, at those sign-in boxes, we have a harvest record there for people to fill out, and we're not looking for scientific data there, mainly estimates. So male, female, species, whether it's a deer or a turkey, those are the only records we request. Estimates on age, estimates on weight, and if it's a buck, the number of points, the spread, things like that. Just to kind of help us keep our records.
How important is it for us to keep our records if a hunter decides to come in by water to some of those areas?
Right. Well, we do allow that, and sometimes it's easier for them to get there, but it makes it difficult for us to find them if there's an emergency. Now, when people buy their permit, they will get harvest records. Then they'll have a copy. So that if they would like to, they can wait until the end of the season, fill out the sheets, and then mail them to our office. So that way we can update our harvest records that way.
Wonderful.
Now, they are not tags, so you'll get two 8.5 by 11 sheets with about 15 different places to log game. You still have to follow state laws when it comes to harvest. So in Georgia, you have a limit of 10. That's all you can take.
Okay. Some of these areas also seasonally are gated.
Right.
When do these gates open, and does it depend on what season it is?
It is season dependent. For the past few years, we've been leaving the main areas closed at Maple Creek and Oakland Road, our two largest areas, mainly to keep off-road traffic down. The damage that has occurred in there from ATVs and four-wheel drive pickup trucks. We kept those closed. This year, we're going to open the main gate for small game season. We've had a lot of requests over the past few years for people to go in there to hunt small game and just to make access a little easier. So the main gates will open for small game season, and then we'll open up an interior cable gate when dove season comes in, and we're going to see if we can keep those open in the entire season.
Okay.
But that's going to be dependent on any type of vandalism off-road work that goes on in there. So if that type of activity picks up, then we'll have to close them back.
Okay. And again, that's to limit the type of off-road vehicles. We only allow trucks, cars,
Right.
And occasionally the trailer to come in if needed for a pickup
Correct.
of a harvest,
Right.
but no four-wheelers, no golf carts,
Right.
no extra vehicles to get you into the area a little bit quicker.
That's correct. Yes, we don't allow any type of ATV or golf cart.
Low impact.
Yeah, right. And when you come in, that we've got gravel roads, we try to keep those up for people so that they can actually come in and access with a car if they don't have a truck to come in. So we ask them to stay on the roadway, don't go off, don't try to drive through the woods, and just kind of keep it up for everybody.
Very good. It's good information to share and to know, and there's a lot of courtesy in our hunting areas.
Right.
And although we don't allow reservation of a section of the land to
Right.
hunt on, logging yourself will let other hunters know that someone's already in this spot.
Correct,
And
right.
again, that's for safety.
Right.
But it also allows people to, again, we know where they are in case
Right.
they don't leave the area in a timely manner. Can they stay overnight in these parks?
No, not in our hunting areas. We don't allow overnight camping. They can camp in our regular open campgrounds up on the West Point WMA, which is owned by the Corps of Engineers but is managed by the state. There are some primitive camping areas up there they can camp on and still hunt the Corps of Engineers property.
Another area is Whitetail Ridge Campground. We have an adjacent hunting area, and I forget what color code that one is.
Right, it's actually pink. We allow archery for deer season, but we allow shotguns for turkey season.
Okay, and that is within walking distance of a trail from Whitetail Ridge Campground, and it's very popular for some of our campers too.
That's right.
And we do have some laws pertaining to weapons, and we don't allow any weapons on Corps of Engineer property, but there's some exceptions during hunting season.
That's correct, right. If you have a valid Corps of Engineer hunting permit, you can have your hunting weapon on your person or in your vehicle as long as it's unloaded, and it remains unloaded between transport to the hunting area and back. We do not allow sidearms or pistols, handguns. We do not allow those type of weapons for hunting or for to keep in your car here according to Title 36. But if it's a shotgun, you have a valid hunting permit, you're allowed to keep it as long as it's unloaded.
Unloaded and unseen. Don't leave it on the picnic table where other people can access it, see it. We also have a lot of people that want to put up stands in our trees. We see those occasionally when the rangers are doing inspections of the area. We don't allow people to leave equipment overnight in areas either. Is that correct?
We do allow people to bring in temporary stands. We do not want any permanent built wooden structures in our hunting areas, but if they do want to bring in a climbing stand or a ladder stand, that is perfectly fine. They can bring it in and set it up, but when it's not in use, we ask that it be removed.
Wonderful. Again, want to emphasize, please do not camp in our recreation areas or in our hunting areas. Camping is permitted in Corps of Engineer campgrounds. We have 4 of them. Whitetail Ridge Campground will remain open until late November. But Holiday and Amity Campground will close September the 4th, shortly after Labor Day weekend. And then our Schaefer Herd Campground will remain open through the winter time with sites 1 through 54. Ben, thank you for having you on the show today. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Susan Cromer, Park Ranger with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers at West Point Lake, reminding you that life jackets save lives. Life jacket loaner stations are located at our campground and beach area gatehouses around the lake. These life jackets are available for you and your family to use at no cost. Please take advantage of this free program and keep a close eye on your children while enjoying yourself at West Point Lake. For more information, please call 706-645-2937.
Welcome back. Joining me now is Park Ranger Steve Rector with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
Glad to be here today, Rebecca.
I brought you onto the show today to kind of talk more about some safety violations that we've been noticing very frequently on the lake. The Corps of Engineers and the Coast Guard Auxiliary have been doing boating safety checks. We have a lot of underage boaters on the water. What is new with our Georgia boating laws that people are forgetting?
Well, you're right. We have seen kind of an increase in some potential violations and definitely some safety hazards this past summer. The Coast Guard Auxiliary, they offer free vessel safety checks for anyone who's interested in that vessel safety check. It is just a courtesy check. They spend a lot of time at both of our marinas performing these vessel safety checks, and what they're looking for is all of the state required and federally required equipment to be on the boat. So primarily what they're looking for is, do your navigation lights work on your boat? Do you have a sound producing device, a manufacturer's horn installed in the boat, or do you have some type of other sound producing device on the boat? Do you have enough life jackets and the right kind of life jackets? Do you have a throwable device? Do you have not just a fire extinguisher, but is it properly charged? Is it mounted in an easily accessible position? These are all things that they are looking for with the Coast Guard Auxiliary, and as I said, it's a courtesy vessel safety check. There's no fines, there's no violations, all it is these are some of the items that we found that you should look at before you go out on the water, because there are other agencies out there who may issue you a citation if you do not correct these things before you go out. One of the other things that the Coast Guard Auxiliary does in partnership with the Corps of Engineers and the Georgia Department of Natural Resources are boating safety courses. A couple of years ago, there was a change in the law. Everyone in the state of Georgia born after January 1st, 1998 must complete a Georgia Department of Natural Resources approved boating safety course before they can legally operate a boat on Georgia waters. So a partnership with the Corps of Engineers, Georgia Department of Natural Resources, and the Coast Guard Auxiliary is to offer these courses in our office. And I wanted to come on today to kind of put a plug in for our final 2 courses of 2017. We will have our next course will be August 12th. That's a Saturday. That course will run from 9 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. And our final course of the year will be on Saturday, August 26th. Again, that'll run 9 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. An all-day course. Once you attend the course one time, you don't have to attend any future courses as long as you pass the exam at the end of the course. This year, those courses are free of charge, so there's no charge to take the course. If you want to bring a lunch, you can bring your lunch, or you can purchase a lunch on site for $5. I guess what's a little tricky about the courses this year is that kind of to get ourselves and the Coast Guard Auxiliary out of the business of collecting personal information, all registration must be done on the Georgia Department of Natural Resources website. So if folks will visit www.gooutdoorsgeorgia.com, and you have to spell out Georgia, it's not the abbreviation, gooutdoorsgeorgia.com, you can pre-register for these courses. It's going to ask you for your date of birth, your social security number, or driver's license number. If you've already had a fishing license in the state of Georgia, you already have an account, either fishing or hunting license, I should have said. You already have an account on this website, www.gooutdoorsgeorgia.com. All you're going to do is search for events. Look for boating safety course in the West Point area, because although we are on LaGrange television, the course is going to have a West Point, Georgia zip code and address. So if you're searching by zip code, 31833 will be the zip code for where the course is offered. And it's at our project management office. We're just on the Georgia side of the West Point Dam and Powerhouse, if anybody's not familiar with where our office is located. But certainly visit that website. Anybody who's born after January 1st, 1998, you must take that course. If you happen to lose your card, the benefit of taking it through the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, if you happen to lose your little ID card that we give you at the end of the course, you just log back into your account. You can reprint your own card from your home computer if you happen to lose that card. Okay. If you take it through other agencies, I don't know that it's quite that easy to reprint a lost boating safety card. So I appreciate you bringing me on today to talk about that. If we have a few minutes left, I'd like to just touch base on a couple of other things.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have a question about registration. We get a lot of kids that are 13, 14 years old that would benefit from this class. It will even get them on a personal watercraft device, and they can drive it themselves. But they would need to have their own account on that website also.
They would, absolutely.
Parents can't log on themselves and register for different people in their families.
Correct. So a parent would not be able to go under their account and register one of their children. Okay. But the parent would have all of the personal information available on that child to create an account for that child.
Very good.
And that's how you would then register.
And there's a lot of benefits to taking the in-person class versus just taking 8 hours online. There's a lot of great questions that are asked specific to how our buoys are on the lake and different shorelines.
Absolutely.
And, so having the in-person class can give you more specifics about West Point Lake.
Absolutely. So one of the great things about having the course in our office is that we do talk about very, very specific West Point Lake things. So we talk about what all these buoys out here mean, how you can identify where you're at based on buoys, because all of our buoys have a numbering system. You can look at these buoys out here and see, this is YJ 56 down here. Well, okay, I'm at 56 on Yellow Jacket Creek, or I'm at WEC number whatever, and I'm on Weehadkee Creek. We talk about all that. We talk about the difference between the red vertical stripes, which will designate mid-channel, and the black vertical stripes. Don't go between that buoy and the shoreline, because there's bad news that direction. So we also talk about some of the how do you find your way around here at night with the lights? If you get turned around, how do you identify where you're at based on a boat ramp location, where you can pull up and see the sign facing the water and reference a map and figure out where you're at. We also do knot tying exercises, how to properly tie up to a dock, how to create knots that won't slip if you're attaching it actually to the cleat on the boat. So there's a ton of localized information that we do in the course that you won't necessarily get if you take it through an online version or from another agency.
And although we're probably not going to get personal watercraft on the water for this event, you can definitely come out with your boats, with your jet skis on a trailer, and we can kind of go over kind of a spot check and, you know, determine where you need to store things, what labels are on your boat to identify.
Absolutely.
For instance, how to flip over your jet ski. If it's been flipped over, there's actually some information upside down, but in a way that you could read it.
Yeah, there's a proper way to turn your jet ski, to right your jet ski in an improper way.
So come out and answer those questions.
And if you bring your boat out, you can get a free vessel safety check at the same time as the class, you know, maybe at the lunch break or before or after the course. And in fact, there are some, and I don't know that all of them do it, but some insurance companies will offer you a small discount on some of your insurance if you have a valid, current, up-to-date vessel safety check completed by the Coast Guard Auxiliary.
Well, Steve, thank you very much for giving us more of this information. Again, when are these boating safety classes?
So the boating safety classes will be 9 to 4, August 12th and August 26th. That's two separate classes. You don't have to attend both dates. Register online at www.gooutdoorsgeorgia.com.
West Point Lake offers a variety of recreational opportunities. With 4 complete campgrounds and over 21 day-use parks, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers also operates 3 beach areas at Earl Cook, Rocky Point, and Yellow Jacket. For the 2017 season, the beaches will be open from May 20th through the 4th of September, with the gates for the beaches opening at 10 a.m. and will close at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time 7 days a week. When accessing one of our beach locations, please be sure to stop at the gatehouse to read all the posted signage and instructions. All vehicles entering the park must pay a $5 day-use fee. If you do not already have one of the America the Beautiful passes or the U.S. Army Corps of Engineer Annual Pass, you must display the proper hang tag. There is a brown box located at the gatehouse to which you need to pull an envelope, tear it into 2 pieces, follow the instructions on either the box or the envelope, place 1 piece of the envelope on your dashboard so that the park rangers know that you have paid. Please submit payment into the envelope and deposit it back into the box. These passes you may hang on to for the duration of the day. If you need to leave the park temporarily, please do not remove your pass from your vehicle. Visitors coming into our recreation areas may encounter a variety of amenities, including picnic tables, reservable shelters with water and electricity, boat ramps, a courtesy dock, fishing piers, bathrooms, tennis courts, basketball courts, and of course, a large beach area. When out on the lake, it's important to remember your safety. Swim at your own risk. Our beach areas are designed for a safe swimming environment that include throw rings that are accessible for emergency use, a safe zone for swimming, including no boating in a surrounding area. If you have not brought a life jacket loaner stations are available at the gatehouse where you've entered the park. We invite all of our visitors to West Point Lake to enjoy themselves. Please be safe. For more information about reservable shelters at our many beach locations, please call our project management office at 706-645-2937.
Welcome back. I'd like to take a moment to talk about an upcoming special event, National Public Lands Day. This year, National Public Lands Day is going to be on the 30th of September, 2017, and we're going to host this event at Holiday Campground. Kind of a unique opportunity. We are going to allow registered participants for this event. If you want to come out for a one-day activity or for the weekend, we will allow camping at Holiday Campground for a select number of sites with a check-in of Friday evening or early Saturday morning. We will allow you to stay 2 nights, Friday night and Saturday night, with a checkout of Sunday at noon. Different activities are going to be involved on Saturday morning. This event will take place between 8 and 1 p.m. where we're going to have on-site activities. We're going to make bluebird boxes, duck boxes, fish attractors. We may even plant some trees. In addition, now is a great time to think about cleaning up West Point Lake. We have a lot of trash that's flown in from the Chattahoochee River because of the high water events that have been consistent throughout the summertime. As the trash comes down river, it tends to stop in coves and in our campgrounds and some of our parks, even your private docks. And now is a good opportunity in groups, church groups, school groups, family groups, or even single individuals that want to come out, maybe get on their own boats to go to some of these areas that we're going to be mapping for you. Or we're going to try to also get some pontoon boats from the local marinas to take some small groups out onto the lake in an effort to clean up a lot of these areas. If they don't get cleaned up by volunteers and us now, it may sit into the next recreation season, so it's extremely important. National Public Lands Day is going to be hosted all over the United States. This is a national recognized event with the National Environmental Education Foundation, the NEEF. Our event is registered on the NEEF website. You can check us out there or find any other activities in your local area. To register for our National Public Lands Day event, please contact me at rebecca.m.fink@usace.army.mil or by phone by calling 706-645-6113. Again, if you are interested in camping for this event or coming out for a one-day activity, pre-registration is required by August the 19th. We'd like to remind our visitors that while on the water, life jackets are required for children under the age of 13. This includes individuals that are on kayaks and canoes that are considered vessels. Again, 13 and under need to be wearing their life jackets, and adults need to have a life jacket with them and present on board. Even if it's not on your body, it is still required that you have that life jacket with you in a kayak or canoe. Downriver from the dam, however, all individuals need to have on their life jackets according to Georgia laws. I would like to thank our guest, Ben Williams, Park Ranger at the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, for being on our show today to talk about our hunting program. And also a thank you to Park Ranger Stephen Rector, who talked about our boating education courses in August. For more information about West Point Lake, please visit our social media page at www.facebook.com/westpointlake.usace.